Hello, this is Billy Core from the Nostalgia Mall, and this is a computer we looked at not too long ago. This is my recent Pentium 2 custom-built computer that I created. You probably recall seeing this in my two videos where I showed myself installing a bunch of software into Windows 98. Well, this was the computer we did it on, and a couple of people requested that I do an overview of this computer, which I was already planning to anyway, so here we go. Welcome to an overview of this computer that I've dubbed the Carolina Flyer Junior. Since this is similar to the Carolina Flyer computer, my main Windows 98 system, but this is a bit less powerful. Specs, has a slot 1 Asus motherboard. I forget the exact model number. We'll look at that in a moment. It has a 300 megahertz Intel Pentium 2. 128 megabytes of RAM, an 80 gigabyte hard drive, a 3D Effects Voodoo 3 video card, and a Sound Blaster Vibra 16 sound card, and running on all this is Windows 98 2nd Edition. We also have a DVD-ROM drive up here, and a 3.5-inch floppy drive down here. Okay, take a closer look at the back. We've got our power supply right there, and here's our motherboard I/O. We've got a keyboard and mouse, PS2 that is, 2 USB 1 ports, 2 serial ports, and 1 parallel port. This does not have onboard video or onboard audio at all. And right here is our Voodoo 3 video card. This thing only cost me $2 at a thrift store a couple months ago. That's an insanely good deal for a Voodoo 3. Have a 3-COM Ethernet card, and there's our Sound Blaster Vibra 16 sound card, which is a very good choice for this kind of computer if you ask me. Okay, let's take a peek inside. I'll go ahead and unscrew it. Okay, here's the inside of the computer. The motherboard is a Asus P2L97 with a 300 megahertz Intel Pentium 2 slot 1. Probably could use better cooling right here. It's just a heat sink and no fan, but haven't run into any issues yet, so so far so good. There's our memory. Got a 1 stick of 128. That's all a computer of this power really needs. There's our Voodoo 3, our network card, and our sound card. Now, reason I put this this sound card in this particular system is so we can have really good DOS support, which I will demonstrate later. And there's our hard drive, and our floppy drive, and our DVD drive. This case also has front panel I/O, but that's not connected because this motherboard's too old to support front panel I/O anything. Now, believe it or not, I'm actually not going to be keeping this system for very long. The intention was to build this and use it for a while, but someone that I know on Facebook has offered to trade me the case this computer is in for something I have been looking for a very long time. It's not a computer, but it's a computer peripheral. I don't want to go into details right now in case something falls through. But as much as I like this beautiful blue and white A-open case I've had for a few years now, I would much rather probably have what this guy is offering me for this. So yeah, this computer might not be staying like this for a while, but you know what? Let's just enjoy it while we can, shall we? Alright, let's fire on up. There's the video BIOS initializing, and we'll check out the BIOS. Okay, this is just a very generic looking BIOS for the time. Got a fresh CMOS battery in there, so it's showing the proper date and time. And it also supports a 5.25-inch floppy drive, which I do not have. Okay. And there's our CPU speed. All the settings for the CPU, for the clock and multiplier and all that good stuff is done with jumpers the old-fashioned way. And I gotta tell you, it was not easy getting the CPU for this computer properly configured. I've been spoiled by jumperless BIOS setups for these, so yeah, you gotta earn it. So yeah, you have a whole bunch of BIOS settings you can adjust in here, which is really nice. Most of this stuff I'll never really use. So let's go ahead and boot into Windows. This case does have a nice chunky PC speaker in it. Good old Windows 98 Second Edition with the Plus Pack. I require all my Windows 98 installs to have Microsoft Plus on it. It's just how I am. Okay, we're going to skip the domain login for now. And welcome to Windows. For a Pentium 2 300 with 128 megs of RAM, this computer is quite fast actually, and pretty powerful. So we'll go into our system properties, go into our device manager. There's our 3D effects through Voodoo 3. I have two Voodoo 3s now. I got one in here and one in the Carolina Flyer. So I'm good to go with Voodoo 3s. There's our network card. There's our virtual SCSI adapter for Damien tools for CD mounting. Our Sound Blaster 16. And our chipset goodies and USB goodies. And we'll do a quick little DX diag. Oh, there we go. So yep, it's the Carolina Junior Intel Pentium 2 MMX 300 MHz, 128 megs of RAM, and we're using DirectX 9.0C, the latest and greatest version of DirectX for Windows 98. And there's our Voodoo 3 info, 14.5 megs of video memory it looks like. And Sound Blaster stuff there. Okay, so why did it mess with my wallpaper? There we go. Good as new. MS-DOS. Okay, so one of the things I really like about this computer, and I build a lot of my Windows 98 systems this way, it's that it's capable of pretty much playing any computer game made from the early 90s up until the early 2000s, with the combination of newer hardware and older hardware, newer like the Voodoo 3 and older like the Sound Blaster 16 for DOS compatibility. You can play just about anything you want on here, within reason, of course. So I'm going to do I'm going to play some games on this computer in chronological order, just to show you how well this works. So we're going to start off with a couple of MS-DOS games, and I think I'll start with Wacky Wheels. I'm going to have to play this from an odd angle. Love those Apogee logos. Alright, let's do a single player race. And I usually go as the Shark. And we'll do amateur class and a 6-lap race. How about that? I like that music for some reason. Okay, let's restart the race because I forgot what key the accelerator was. I gotta hold down the Alt key. See, it's pretty much like Super Mario Kart on Super Nintendo, but with unlicensed characters. So you can probably hear the music in the game, and that's being produced by the Sound Blaster 16. This is the Vibra card doing that. Sounds very, very authentic to me, at least. Classic OPL3 sound. Something that a lot of Windows 98 systems are just not capable of doing properly because of the fact that they're using sound cards that are a bit too new for proper DOS support. Although on newer systems, if you look hard enough, you can find good sound cards for DOS compatibility. I highly recommend the original Sound Blaster Audigy. Those sound really good. So we somehow got first place. Alright, we'll do one more track. And here we go. Did I just see a beaver sitting on the toilet? I swear I've been stuck at home too long. If I'm seeing beavers on the toilet. Yeah, I'm starting to lose my momentum here on this level. It's a bit too curvy and wet. Besides, this guy's a shark. He can breathe underwater anyway. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm in second place now. Well, I was. Okay, I was in first place for a very brief moment. Oh, what in the world happened? What? I didn't... Who did that and how did they do that? Why did the race restart? I'm gonna have to play this video back and see what I did to screw things up like that. Well, something went so wrong that the race restarted. I do not know. I just don't know. What? Okay, I just did it again. Okay, apparently if you hit something a certain way, it's game over. So yeah, I can take the hint. They don't want me playing this. Okay, next thing I want to show. one more game here in DOS. Is a game called Tyrion. Okay, apparently that's not the right command. Okay, that's not it. Okay, I must have misspelled it the first time. It happens. Okay, I see. Apparently this game suffers from the exact same problem that Jazz Jackrabbit suffers from, where if you play it in DOS mode on a computer with a large amount of memory, it crashes the computer and it resets. I do not know why it does that, but it's very, very annoying. If anyone has any ideas why that happens on Tyrion and Jazz Jackrabbit, or I guess Epic Games in general, let me know. So I would love to get that figured out. So now I've got to come up with another game to play in this video. Okay, we'll give Epic Pinball a try. This is a Epic game that actually does work on high memory systems. No, it just crashes the computer. It's not even kind enough to restart. This computer is dead. Okay, I think I got Epic Pinball figured out. You actually have to go into DOS mode from Windows, not while Windows is booting with F8. I don't know why that is, but as long as it works. Let's find us a good table. How about Space Journey? What does that look like? Yeah, it looks good. I love these old pinball games. Don't remember playing this one as a kid. I would have loved it though if I had known it existed. When I was a kid, I played 3D Ultra Pinball from Sierra. Very good game. Oh, there we go. It's bound to happen. Okay, oop. I said I enjoy these games. I didn't say I was good at them. Oh, there we go. Game over already. I made second place on the high score table, so that's good. And so that's DOS gaming on this computer. It can be a little bit finicky, but for the most part, works great. Windows 3.1. Okay, now on to a Windows 3.1 era game. And this game is Putt Putt and Fatty Bear's Activity Pack from Humongous Entertainment.
Hi, I'm Putt Putt. I'm Fatty Bear. What game would you like to play with me?
And instead of a adventure, this is just random little puzzles and activities for kids. I was very late into getting this particular title.
Let's play a game.
Do we have to?
That's Circus Storming. How hard do you want the game to be? Medium. Let's go.
Yeah, this is similar to bear storming in the Putt Putt Goes to the Moon arcade machine. And apparently I'm not very good at that.
What game do you want to play? That's circus.
Let's try that again on an easier level.
Level easy. Let's play.
There we go, that's better. Yeah, this is just like Bear Stormin' and Putt Putt Goes to the Moon, except this one is circus themed. And the music in this game is the exact same as Putt Putt Joins the Parade, which is interesting. Interesting how they can reuse assets from other games. We'll do one more level. That's where the difficulty ramps up a little bit, because now there's stuff you gotta avoid. Like flying hot dogs. Ever seen a flying hot dog? Well, good. If you're seeing flying hot dogs, then it's time to see a doctor. Okay, we'll do one more activity.
That game is Remember. What level do you want to play? Medium. Oh boy.
It was a law that every children's game in the 90s required a memory game like this.
That's a pear.
I don't know how I did that on the first try, but I'm not complaining.
I don't think those are the same.
Really, there's a difference between a lollipop and a radio? Never knew that.
Sorry, those don't match. Yep, they go together.
Junior Adventures logo.
I don't think those are the same. Yep, they go together.
Yay!
That's a pear.
A pear? That's not even a fruit.
Gee, those don't look alike.
You sound surprised by that.
Sorry, those don't match. Yep, they go together.
Hey!
I don't think those are the same. Those match.
Yay.
Those match. Those match. Hey, you did it!
Windows 95. Okay, now on to something from the mid-90s Windows 95 era. One of my favorite games of all time, Monster Truck Madness. Just some settings here. I'm going to be playing this with this Logitech gamepad, which is much newer for this kind of system, but you know what? Nice thing about most of these gamepads is that when you plug them into Windows 98, it works right out of the box, no matter what. It's amazing. Okay, I always got to go as Carolina Crusher. And do round and round, 2 laps, no opponents. One thing I forgot to change is graphics. So it can use hardware acceleration. Because we have a Voodoo 3 in here, so might as well take advantage of it. So let's try that again. Oh, now that is like night and day right there. Look how smooth that is. For 1996, this was cutting edge. And it was because of this game that I got kind of fascinated by monster trucks when I was about 6 years old, 7 years old. Yes, it is. And I remember I used to go to the Monster Jam show at the Greensboro Coliseum every January from 1997 until about 2000, 2001 or so. It's a lot of fun, except that first year, because when I was walking through the Coliseum to get there, I was nauseous that whole day, but I really wanted to go to the Monster Truck show anyway, so I went anyway. And as I was walking to my seat, I vomited all over the place. There were kids screaming and freaking out. It was not a pleasant sight. So I was only there for like a few minutes and then I had to go home. Sorry if you were eating any food during that little story I just shared. But I just felt like sharing it. When I was a kid and I would play this game, I would stick you can play this from the hard drive. CD's not required, except for installing. And I would stick a random audio CD in the computer and listen to the music from the CD in the game, which was always really cool. I'm not doing it in this video, of course, because copyright. Don't want to get a copyright strike because I was being stupid. Very fun game. Especially when you add a 3D accelerator card to your computer, it looks really good. Of course, when I played it back in the day on the Packard Bell Legend 822 CDT, which had no 3D acceleration at all. It looked like garbage, but you know what? I still had a great time playing with it. I didn't know any better. And you know what? As long as you enjoy it, that's all that matters. It doesn't have to look amazing or sound amazing. As long as you have fun, that's all that matters. Alright, fun little game there of Monster Truck Madness. Windows 98. Okay, now for a game from the late 90s, early 2000s Windows 98 era. This is Motocross Madness 2. Very fun little game. Of course, it requires a CD. So we gotta wait for it to load. Haven't played this game yet on this computer, but presumably it should work just fine. I totally read that. Okay, Motocross Madness 2 is detected a change in your game video hardware or driver installation. We must now test your hardware/driver. Okay, we definitely wanted to use a Voodoo 3 rendering. Microsoft. Okay, we get it. People made this game. Put my name in. Okay. Let's adjust a few settings first. And you can try to 800 by 600. Of course, this is when we're going to start really taxing this computer. So this game may run really well, or it may not. We'll have to find out. Let's see. Sometimes I forget what these games actually involve until I play them. So it's been a little while since I played this. We'll go with some Mechanized Mayhem. Okay, well, I drive a Honda car, so we will drive a Honda motorcycle. So give it some time to load. Again, this is where we'll start seeing a little bit more taxing on this computer when we get into these later games. But this has a Voodoo 3 in it, so that might give it a good boost of power. And I'm not sure if the gamepad's going to work straight out of the box, because I forgot to go into settings and turn it on. So we may have to go back and do that. Okay, there we go. Gamepad's working. And it is a little bit choppy, I must admit. My gameplay's choppy as well. So basically you just gotta follow this green arrow. But yeah, it's a little choppy, but I've seen a lot worse. A lot worse. So maybe we can get through a game with this without any issues. I remember when, about 6 months ago I want to say, when we tried this on the Ultimate Packard Bell with its 8 meg video card, it did not do well at all with this game. But this game, I've seen it run better, but I've seen it run a lot worse. There we go. This game came out in 2000, so the hardware in this computer, or the motherboard at least, would have been about 3 years old at the time. This motherboard originally came out in 1997. I forgot to mention that I'm actually running a beta BIOS on this computer from the year 2000. BIOS that was never fully completed, but it works just fine. Reason I installed it on it was because the officially released BIOSes did not support my hard drive that I'm using in this computer. But despite this being a beta, I haven't had any issues with it so far. Oh, almost made it to the end. There we go. So now let's just drive around like a madman. and maybe not kill ourselves as much. There is one part of this game I have always found entertaining. Let me see if I can make it happen. That's not it. That. When you go out of bounds of the map, it just shoots you like a cannonball back to where you need to be. It's over the top and ridiculous, but I like it. Okay, that was the Carolina Flyer Jr., which isn't going to be around much longer, but I'll probably have it for about another month or so until I'm able to swap it out for the very interesting peripheral that my friend is going to send me in exchange for this. So I definitely look forward to that, but until then I will be enjoying this computer from time to time and seeing what it's capable of. Hardware from this era is very interesting and it's fun to tinker with. So, until our next video, this is Billy Core signing off. Thank you for visiting the Nostalgia Mall. If you liked what you saw, please like, subscribe, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also support me on Patreon if you would like. The link to all of these are down below. Until next time, this is Billy Core, signing off.